The rain fell on what was left of Seoul. 3 years had passed since the war toads left Earth. 3 years since humans had won a war no one understood. The tall buildings that once reached for the sky were now broken teeth in the mouth of a dead city. Tak stood at the edge of what used to be Gwanghwamun Square. His boots sank into mud mixed with strange blue dust. The dust came from the war toads when they died. It never washed away, no matter how much rain fell. "Dr. Hyun says there's something under the old museum," said a voice behind him. Tak turned to see Major Lee. She wore the green and black uniform of the Global Recovery Initiative. Her face was tired, but her eyes were sharp. "I don't work for the GRI anymore," said Tak. He pulled his coat tighter around his shoulders. The rain was cold, but the memories were colder. "You're the only one who touched their tech and lived," said Major Lee. "We need you." Tak closed his eyes. He saw his wife and daughter again. He saw the moment the war toad ship crashed into their apartment building. He had been across the city, fighting. By the time he got home, there was nothing left to save. "What did Hyun find?" Tak asked finally. "Crystals, growing under the ruins. They're sending out signals we can't understand." Tak nodded. The war toads had used crystals for their weapons, their ships, even their armor. The strange rocks glowed with blue light and hummed when humans got close. "And people are having dreams," added Major Lee. This made Tak look up. What kind of dreams? The same dream. People who never met each other. They dream of big eyes in the dark. They hear whispers in a language no one knows. And they wake up saying the same word. "What word?" asked Tak. Major Lee handed him a paper. On it was written a word in strange letters. Tak had seen these letters before, on war toad ships. "We can't read their writing," said Major Lee. "But I know someone who can try," said Tak. He folded the paper and put it in his pocket. Dr. Ju was studying their language before the last battle. Together, they walked through the broken streets. The blue dust glowed softly in the rain. Sometimes Tak thought he could hear it humming, like the war toads were still watching. They reached the edge of the crater where the National Museum used to stand. Now there was just a deep hole. People in white suits moved around the bottom. In the center of the crater, something blue glowed brightly. "That's it," said Major Lee. "The crystal cluster. Hyun found it yesterday. It's bigger today." "It's growing?" asked Tak. "Yes, and that's not all." She pointed to small blue lines spreading out from the crystal. They looked like roots or veins going into the ground. "They're spreading through the city." Tak took a deep breath and started down the path into the crater. This was why they needed him. He had fought the war toads hand to hand. He had used their own weapons against them. He had been exposed to their blood, their tech, their dying screams. At the bottom of the crater, Dr. Hyun looked up from his work. His glasses were fogged, and his hands shook slightly. "Good, you're here," he said to Tak. "I need you to listen to this." He held out a device. From it came a sound like water running over stones, but with a pattern. It was language, but not human language. Tak felt something stir in his mind. Since the war, he had dreams too. Dreams of wide, flat faces with huge eyes. Dreams of stars he had never seen. And in those dreams, he understood what they were saying. "They're not gone," said Tak quietly. "The war toads left something behind, and I think it's waking up." Dr. Hyun nodded slowly. "But the real question is, did they leave it as a weapon or a warning?" In the center of the crater, the crystal pulsed once, like a heart beating. Dr. Ju arrived the next day. She stepped carefully down into the crater where the crystal grew larger by the hour. Her eyes were wide with wonder, not fear. That was why Tak had called her. "It's beautiful," she said, reaching toward the glowing blue mass. Tak caught her hand. "Don't touch it yet. We don't know what it does." Dr. Ju smiled. "That's why I'm here." She pulled out a small silver box from her bag. "This can read the waves coming from the crystal without direct contact." They set up a tent near the crystal. Inside, Dr. Ju connected her box to a computer. Lines danced across the screen. "The crystal is sending out waves," said Dr. Ju. "Not radio waves, not sound waves. Something new." "Can you understand what it's saying?" asked Major Lee. "Not yet, but I know what it's talking to." Dr. Ju pointed to her head. "Brains. Human brains. The waves match human brain patterns when we dream." Tak felt cold all over. "The dreams people are having. The war toads are talking to us in our sleep." Dr. Hyun looked up from his own work. "But the war toads are gone. They left after we fought them back." "Maybe not all of them left," said Tak. That night, they stayed in the tent. The rain stopped, but dark clouds still covered the sky. The crystal glowed brighter in the darkness. Tak couldn't sleep. He walked around the edge of the crater, watching the blue veins that spread from the crystal. They were growing too, reaching out toward the city. His radio crackled. "Tak, come in." It was Captain Yun, one of the GRI soldiers guarding the site. "What is it?" asked Tak. "There's someone at the north edge. A farmer. Says she needs to talk to whoever's in charge." Tak met the woman at the crater's edge. She was small, with rough hands and tired eyes. Her name was Suk. "I came from my farm outside the city," she said. "Something strange is happening there." "What kind of strange?" asked Tak. "The plants. They're growing too fast. Where war toad blood fell on my fields, the plants grow tall in just days. But they're wrong. The corn has blue streaks. The rice glows at night." Tak nodded. "Anything else?" Suk looked down. "Voices. At night, walking through the fields. Whispers in my head. Words I don't understand." Tak brought Suk to Dr. Ju. They showed her the paper with the strange war toad word that people spoke after their dreams. "Yes," said Suk. "This word. I hear it in the fields." Dr. Ju asked Suk to sleep in the tent that night. She connected small sensors to Suk's head to record her brain during sleep. "Maybe we can see the dreams," said Dr. Ju. That night, as Suk slept, the monitors beeped faster. The crystal pulsed with blue light that matched the pattern on the screen. "It's talking to her," whispered Dr. Ju. Suddenly, the ground shook. A small crack opened in the earth near the crystal. Something pushed up from below. Another crystal, smaller but growing quickly. Suk sat up in her sleep. Her eyes were open but saw nothing. She spoke, but not with her voice. It was deeper, with a sound like water. "The skin peels back. The silence breaks. They come." Tak grabbed Suk's shoulders. "Who comes?" "The war toads." Suk's empty eyes turned to him. "Not toads. Hunters. They follow. They always follow." Dr. Ju was typing fast on her computer. "The brain waves are changing. It's like there's another mind inside hers." Captain Yun burst into the tent. More crystals are coming up all over the crater. Outside, blue light filled the night. Dozens of small crystals pushed through the earth. The veins between them pulsed like a heartbeat. Tak looked up at the dark clouds. For a moment, he thought he saw something move across the sky, something huge that blocked the stars. Suk spoke again, her voice now a chorus of many voices. "Prepare. They hunt us across stars. They hunt you next. We left you weapons. We left you warning." Then her eyes closed, and she fell back to sleep. Tak turned to Dr. Ju and Major Lee. "The war toads didn't invade us. They were running from something worse." In the center of the crater, the main crystal grew taller, reaching toward the sky like a radio tower made of light. It was calling out to the stars. Morning came, but the sky stayed dark. The clouds above Seoul hung low and heavy. The crater now glowed with blue light from hundreds of small crystals. The main crystal in the center stood tall like a tower. The Global Recovery Initiative built a base around the crater. Scientists and soldiers worked together, watching the crystals grow. Tak, Dr. Ju, and Captain Yun stayed in the main research tent. The signal is getting stronger, said Dr. Ju. She had dark circles under her eyes. She had not slept all night, watching her machines. Can you understand what it means? Asked Tak. Dr. Ju shook her head. Not yet. But look at this. She showed him a map on her computer. Red dots covered the map of Earth. These are all the places where people report the same dreams. The dreams are spreading. Captain Yun pointed to more blue dots on the map. And these are places where crystals have been found. Not just in Seoul now. They're growing all over the world. Tak looked at the pattern. The dots formed lines across the map, connecting to each other. It looks like a net, he said, or a shield. A soldier ran into the tent. Dr. Ju, the main crystal is doing something new. They hurried outside. The tall crystal in the center was pulsing faster now. Waves of blue light moved up and down its surface. It's beautiful, said Dr. Ju. She walked closer, eyes fixed on the light. Dr. Ju, wait, Tak called. But she didn't stop. Dr. Ju reached out her hand and touched the crystal surface. Blue light shot up her arm. Her body went stiff, then fell to the ground. Tak and Captain Yun ran to her. They carried her back to the tent. Her eyes were open but saw nothing. Her body was cold. Get a doctor, shouted Tak. For 3 hours, Dr. Ju lay still. The doctor said she was alive, but in a deep sleep. They couldn't wake her. Then, as the sun began to set, she sat up suddenly. Her eyes were still empty, but her mouth began to move. 7, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144. What is she saying? Asked Captain Yun. Tak listened closely. Numbers. Just numbers. 233, 377, 610, 987. Major Lee entered the tent. The other crystals are changing too. They're all pointing in the same direction now, toward space. Dr. Ju kept speaking numbers. Tak wrote them down. Something about them seemed familiar. It's a pattern, he said finally. Each number is the sum of the two before it. It's a Fibonacci sequence. Why would the crystals make her say math? Asked Captain Yun. It's a language, said Tak. The simplest language that works across different worlds. Math is the same everywhere. Dr. Hyun had been quiet, thinking. Now he spoke. If they're trying to talk to us through math, then what comes next in the sequence? 1597, said Tak. At that moment, Dr. Ju spoke again. 1597. She's awake inside there, said Tak. The crystal is using her to talk to us. Tak sat next to Dr. Ju. We hear you. What are you trying to tell us? Dr. Ju's head turned to him. Her voice changed, becoming deeper. We ran. We fought. We lost. We left you weapons. You're the war toads, asked Tak. That is not our name. We are the silenced ones. We came to your world to hide, to build, but you fought back. You attacked us first, said Captain Yun angrily. No choice. Needed your world. Needed your minds. The hunters follow us across stars. They will find you now. You carry our scent. What hunters? Asked Tak. What is hunting you? Dr. Ju's face twisted in fear. The Skinners. They peel worlds like fruit. They eat minds like you eat plants. They are coming. The crystals are warning systems. Defense grid, not complete. We tried to finish, but you fought back. Tak felt sick. So you weren't invaders. You were trying to build a defense for Earth, against something worse. Yes, the signals have started. The Skinners will hear soon. Will come. How do we stop them? Asked Major Lee. Cannot stop. Can only hide. The crystals can hide minds from them. Can make you silent, but grid not complete. Can we complete it? Asked Tak. Dr. Ju's empty eyes looked at him. Yes, you touched our blood. You carry patterns. You can activate the grid. Suddenly, Dr. Ju gasped. Her body shook. Then her eyes cleared, and she was herself again. What happened? She asked weakly. Before anyone could answer, alarms sounded outside. They ran out of the tent. The main crystal was glowing brighter than ever. A beam of blue light shot from its tip into the sky, through the clouds. Far above, something in space had heard the signal. The world leaders met on screens. Faces looked worried as they talked about the crystals growing across Earth. Major Lee and Captain Yun stood at attention behind General Park, who spoke for South Korea. The crystals are not weapons against us, said General Park. They are warning systems. The aliens we called war toads were running from something worse. How can we be sure? Asked a woman from America. General Park pointed to Tak. This man has worked with the alien technology. He will explain. Tak stepped forward. His voice was steady even though his hand shook. The aliens call themselves the Silenced Ones. They came here to build a defense system. Earth was going to be a fortress against creatures they call the Skinners. But we fought back before they could finish their work. The meeting went on for hours. Some leaders wanted to destroy the crystals. Others wanted to study them more. In the end, they agreed to bring in more scientists. One was Min, a woman who studied languages. Min arrived the next day. She was small with quick eyes and faster hands. She typed on her computer as Tak explained what had happened. So these Silenced Ones speak through math? She asked. Yes, said Dr. Ju, who was feeling better now. They used the Fibonacci sequence to start talking to us. They needed something universal. Min nodded. Smart. And you say they called themselves the Silenced Ones, not war toads. That's right, said Tak. Min typed more. Names have power. They tell us things. She looked at her screen. The Silenced Ones. What if they don't just mean they are quiet? What if something made them silent? That night, Tak had the nightmare again. He saw the war-toad ships crashing into the city. He saw his home destroyed. But this time, the dream went further. He saw space, stars spread out around him. He felt fear, deep and cold. Behind him, something huge moved between the stars. Something that ate light and sound. Something hunting. Tak woke up screaming. Captain Yun ran into his tent. What's wrong? She asked. The dreams, gasped Tak. They're not just dreams. They're memories. War-toad memories. In the morning, Tak told the others what he had realized. When I fought them, I got their blood on me. In me, I think they can put information in their blood. Memories. Warnings. Dr. Ju looked excited. That makes sense. Their blood has strange cells, like tiny computers. We never understood how they worked. Min added, that's why they're called the Silenced Ones. The Skinners turned their own biology against them, made it so they couldn't warn each other fast enough. So the nightmares I've been having since the war, said Tak slowly, are actually war-toad memories. They left information inside me. I think so, said Dr. Ju. You and others who fought them directly, you're carrying important information in your minds. Captain Yun looked worried. What do we do with that information? How do we get it out? Dr. Hyun, who had been quiet, stepped forward. I have an idea, but it's dangerous. He explained that they could use the main crystal as a link. Connect Tak's mind to it and try to unlock the hidden memories. It might hurt, Dr. Hyun warned. It might change you. The crystal changed Dr. Ju for a while. Tak thought about his family, gone in the war. About Earth, now in danger from something even the war toads feared. I'll do it, he said. They set up machines around the main crystal. Dr. Ju attached sensors to Tak's head. Min stood ready to record any words he might speak. Ready? Asked Dr. Hyun. Tak nodded. He reached out and touched the crystal. Blue light shot through him. Pain filled his body, but behind the pain came knowledge. Images, plans. He saw weapons that could fight the Skinners, shields that could hide Earth from their senses. When Tak opened his eyes again, he was different. His mind held two sets of memories now. His own, and those of a war toad commander who had tried to save Earth, not conquer it. "I know what to do," said Tak. His voice sounded strange even to him. "I know how to finish their defense grid." But as he stood up, he heard them. Whispers in his mind. The crystals were talking to him now, all the time. And they were saying the same thing, over and over. "They are coming. They are coming soon." A week passed. The crystals grew all over the world now. People learned to live with the blue glow at night. Some even found it pretty. Tak stood on a hill overlooking Seoul. From here, he could see the pattern the crystals made, like a web spread over the land. He could hear them talking in his mind all the time now. Sometimes it was hard to tell which thoughts were his and which came from the crystals. Dr. Ju climbed the hill to stand beside him. She handed him a tablet computer. "Look at this," she said. "I mapped all the crystal sites worldwide." The screen showed Earth with blue dots all over it. When she pressed a button, lines appeared between the dots. They formed a pattern like a net around the whole planet. "It's a shield," said Tak, "just like in my new memories. The war toads, the silenced ones, were building a defense grid around Earth." "But why Earth?" asked Dr. Ju. "There must be many planets they could use." Tak closed his eyes. He searched through the alien memories in his mind. "Earth is special," he said finally. "It has the right size, the right position in space, and it has us." "Humans?" "Yes. The grid needs minds to power it. Billions of minds thinking, dreaming, feeling. The grid uses that energy." Dr. Ju looked shocked. "They were going to use us as batteries." Tak nodded. "They needed our minds. That's why they attacked. They weren't trying to kill us. They were trying to connect us to the grid." They walked back to the base. Inside the main tent, Min was working with a new team of scientists. They had built a model of the crystal network. "The pattern is clear now," said Min. "The crystals form a defensive grid, but it's not complete. There are gaps." Captain Yun pointed to a map. "Most of the gaps are in places where we fought back the hardest, places where we destroyed war toad ships. They retreated when they realized they couldn't complete the grid in time," said Tak. "They left behind what they could, hoping we'd figure it out." Dr. Hyun joined them. "The crystal technology is amazing. It can block certain types of energy, certain waves. I think it can hide brain waves." "That's it," said Tak suddenly. "The Skinners hunt by sensing brain activity. The grid hides that activity, makes the planet seem empty to them." Min looked up from her computer. "So the war toads wanted to hook us up to this grid without asking. When we fought back, they left, knowing they had failed to protect us." "Yes," said Tak, "but they left the plans inside some of us. Inside me." Dr. Ju touched his arm. "Can you show us how to complete the grid?" Tak nodded slowly. "I think so. But there's a problem. The original plan required all humans to be directly connected to the crystal network, like slaves. I don't want that." "There must be another way," said Min. Tak closed his eyes again, searching through the alien memories. "Maybe. The connection can be voluntary, weaker but still effective. People would need to choose to connect." General Park entered the tent. "Bad news. Our space station has spotted objects entering the solar system. They don't match any known pattern. They absorb light. We can only see them as holes in space." "The Skinners," whispered Tak. The whispers in his head grew louder, more urgent. "How long do we have?" asked Captain Yun. "Days, maybe," said General Park. "They're moving faster than anything we've ever seen." Tak stood up. "We need to complete the grid. Now, I'll show you how." For the next 2 days, Tak worked without sleep. He drew plans, explained the alien technology, helped build new devices that could connect to the crystals. Dr. Ju worked by his side. "The new connections are working. she said. People can link to the grid without being taken over by it. Good, said Tak. We need volunteers. People willing to connect their minds to help power the shield. Word spread. Leaders spoke on TV and radio. They explained the danger coming from space. They asked for help. Millions of people stepped forward. They came to crystal sites, put on the new headsets, and joined their minds to the grid. Tak felt it happening. Each new mind made the whispers in his head clearer, stronger. The gaps in the grid began to close. But would it be enough? Would it be in time? In his mind, he could feel the Skinners getting closer, empty spaces moving through the darkness, hungry for thoughts, for feelings, for minds. And the hardest truth pressed on him. The truth he had not told the others yet. The Skinners weren't coming because they had found the war toads. They were coming because they had found us. The space stations saw them first. Dark shapes moving against the stars. They did not reflect light. They absorbed it, creating holes in space. In the command center under Seoul, Tak watched the video feeds. The room was full of screens showing the crystal grid around Earth. Most of the gaps were closed now as more people joined their minds to the network. How many objects are there? Asked General Park. At least 7 large ones, said Captain Yun, and dozens of smaller ones. They passed Jupiter yesterday. They'll reach Earth in 3 days. Dr. Ju stood next to a new device. It was their best hope, built from Tak's alien memories. A weapon that could hurt the Skinners. Will the grid be ready in time? She asked. Tak shook his head. Not fully. We need more volunteers. More minds. Min looked up from her screen. People are afraid. Some think this is all a trick. They don't believe in aliens even after the war toad invasion. Show them, said Tak. That night, every TV and phone on Earth showed the same images. The dark shapes moving through space, the crystal grid growing. And Tak, explaining what was coming. The Skinners hunt minds across the galaxy, he said. They found Earth because they sensed our thoughts, our feelings, our dreams. The only way to hide from them is to join the crystal network. Together, we can make Earth silent to them. By morning, millions more had volunteered. The grid grew stronger. Tak felt it in his mind as each new person connected. A web of thoughts spreading around the world. On the 3rd day, the Skinners reached the moon. Space telescopes showed them clearly now. They had no solid shape. They flowed like oil, changing form constantly. Where they passed, light bent and died. They're beautiful, whispered Dr. Ju. Yes, said Tak. Beauty can be deadly. Alarms sounded. One of the smaller Skinner ships had broken away from the others. It was headed straight for Earth. They're sending a scout, said Tak, to test our defenses. The command center went quiet. Everyone watched the screens as the dark shape entered Earth's atmosphere. It moved like smoke, not like any ship humans had built. Where is it going? Asked General Park. Tak closed his eyes. In his mind, he felt the crystal network humming. It's searching for thought patterns, for minds. The scout ship flew over Asia, then Europe, then America. It moved faster than sound, but made no noise. Just a dark shadow passing over cities and towns. Then it turned back. It flew straight toward Seoul, toward the largest crystal cluster. It's coming here, said Captain Yun. It knows this is the center. Tak stood up. Activate the grid now. Full power. Dr. Ju pressed buttons on her console. Around the world, the crystal network glowed brighter. In the command center, screens showed the power levels rising as millions of connected minds focused together. Everyone who's connected, think of nothing, said Tak into a microphone that reached all volunteers. Empty your minds. Be silent. The scout ship reached Seoul. It hovered over the main crater where the first crystal had appeared. Then it dropped lower, as if searching for something it couldn't find. It's working, said Min. It can't sense us. But then something went wrong. One of the grid power levels dropped suddenly. "What happened?" asked Captain Yun. "A section in Europe failed," said Dr. Ju. "The connection broke." The scout ship turned instantly. It shot across the world toward the broken section of the grid. On screens, they watched it hover over a small town in France. Then it dropped something from its body, a dark liquid that fell like rain. People in the town screamed as the liquid touched them. Their bodies froze. Their eyes went empty, but their mouths moved, all saying the same thing. "Found you." The scout ship rose again. It flew back to the main Skinner fleet waiting beyond the moon. It had found what it was looking for. It had found mines to feed on. In the command center, Tak felt sick. "They know we're here. They found a way through the grid." "What do we do now?" asked General Park. Tak looked at the weapon Dr. Ju had built. "We fight." New alarms sounded. The main Skinner fleet was moving. All 7 large ships and the smaller ones with them. They were coming toward Earth. Captain Ewan looked at the fleet size and did quick calculations. "They'll be here in 12 hours. Tak nodded. "Then we have 12 hours to prepare, to finish the grid, to get the weapons ready." "Will it be enough?" asked Min. Tak thought of the war-toad memories in his mind. The planets the Skinners had stripped bare, the civilizations they had consumed. "It has to be," he said. "We're fighting for our right to think, to feel, to be human." Outside, the crystal network glowed blue against the night sky, a web of light protecting a world of minds. And above, the darkness was coming. The world prepared for war. Again, soldiers moved to the crystal sites to protect them. Scientists worked to fix the broken grid section in France. Leaders spoke to keep people calm. But Dr. Ju was not working on the grid. She was studying scans of the Skinners. Her eyes were red from no sleep, but her mind was sharp. "Tak, look at this," she said. Tak joined her at her computer. The screen showed dark shapes moving through space. "The Skinners." "What am I looking at?" he asked. "Not what they look like, what they feel like." Dr. Ju showed him a different screen with wave patterns. "These are brain wave readings from the people in France who were touched by the scout ship." Tak studied the patterns. They looked wrong, broken. The Skinners changed their brain waves. "Yes, and look at these." She showed a third screen. "These are normal human brain waves. And these," she pointed to another pattern. "These are the waves the crystal network makes." Tak suddenly understood. The crystal waves cancel out normal brain waves. They hide our minds. Dr. Ju nodded. "The Skinners hunt by feeling brain waves across space. The crystal network makes a field that blocks those waves, makes us invisible to them." Captain Ewan joined them. "So the grid is not a weapon. It's camouflage." "Exactly," said Dr. Ju. "The war toads were building a psychic shield around Earth." Min, who had been listening, spoke up. "That's why they needed all humans connected, to cover every mind on the planet with the shield." Tak closed his eyes. The alien memories showed him more. The war toads tried to hide on many worlds, but the Skinners always found them because some minds were not connected to the shield. "And that's what happened here," said Dr. Ju. "Our grid is not complete. Some minds are still exposed." General Park had a hard look on his face. "Then we need everyone connected. Now, we can't force people," said Tak. "That's what the war toads tried to do. That's why we fought them." "Then what do we do?" asked Captain Yun. "The Skinners will be here in 10 hours now." Tak thought about it. "We need to change the plan." The war toads wanted everyone directly connected to the crystals. Their minds merged with the network. But humans are different. We can work together without losing ourselves. Dr. Ju's eyes widened. A voluntary connection. Weaker for each person, but with billions of humans working together. It could be strong enough. Finished Tak. They took the idea to General Park. He agreed to try. The world leaders were told, A new message went out to all people on Earth. "We need your help," said Tak on TV. "Not as slaves to a crystal network, but as free humans choosing to protect our world. The connection will be light. You stay yourself. But together, we can hide Earth from the Skinners." Around the world, more people came to the crystal sites. They wore the light headsets that connected them to the grid. They sat together, families and friends, holding hands, being human together. In the command center, Dr. Ju watched the grid power levels rise. "It's working," she said. "The shield is growing stronger. Different from the Wartoad plan, but better." Tak felt it in his mind. Millions, then billions of human minds joining the network, not giving up their thoughts, but sharing them. A soft hum of humanity. 6 hours before the Skinners would arrive. The grid was at full power. The shield covered most of Earth now. "Will it be enough?" asked Min. "I don't know," said Tak. "The Skinners are old. They have hunted many worlds. They might find a way through." But there was no time to worry. Alarms sounded again. The Skinners had moved faster than expected. "They're entering Earth's atmosphere now," said Captain Yun. All around the planet, on screens, they watched dark ships drop from the sky. They moved like living smoke, flowing around buildings and mountains. "Searching. They can't find us," said Dr. Ju. "The shield is working." For an hour, the Skinners searched Earth. Their ships moved over cities and oceans, through forests and deserts, finding nothing. No minds to feed on. In the command center, hope began to grow. Maybe the shield would work. Maybe the Skinners would leave. Then a single dark ship found the town in France where the grid had broken earlier, the same place the scout had visited. It dropped down, spreading darkness over the streets. "They remember where they found mines before," said Tak. On the screen, they watched the dark ship pull something from the town. Not people, something else. Bright points of light that floated up into the ship. "What are they taking?" asked General Park. "Memories," said Tak, his voice hollow. "They're pulling memories from the place itself, from the buildings and streets where humans lived." The dark ship rose. It sent out a signal. A wave of darkness spread from it across the sky. In the command center, warning lights flashed. "The shield is weakening," said Dr. Ju. "They're attacking it directly now." Tak felt it in his mind. The Skinners were pushing against the shield, looking for gaps, looking for mines. "They're too strong," said Min. "The shield will break." Tak stood up. "Then we change plans again. If we can't hide from them, we fight them." He turned to Dr. Ju. "The weapon you built, is it ready?" She nodded. "Yes, but it needs to be close to them. Very close." "How close?" asked Tak. "Inside their ships," said Dr. Ju. The room went quiet. Everyone knew what that meant. Someone would have to carry the weapon into a Skinner ship. Someone would have to sacrifice themselves. Tak looked at the screens, at the dark ships spreading across Earth's sky, at the billions of humans hiding behind a shield that was starting to fail. "I'll do it," he said. Captain Yun stepped forward. "Not alone. I'm coming too." Dr. Ju began to prepare the weapon. It was small enough to carry, built from crystal technology. It would turn the Skinners' hunting sense against them. Tak looked at the countdown clock. The shield would fail in less than an hour. The Skinners would find Earth's mines, unless they stopped them. "Let's go," he said. "It's time to show the Skinners that humans don't hide forever. Sometimes we sing into the silence." The crystal grid was failing. Around the world, the blue light flickered as the Skinners pushed against the shield. Millions of connected humans felt the pressure in their minds. Tak and Captain Yun prepared for their mission. Dr. Ju gave them the weapon she had built. It looked like a small blue crystal sphere. "How does it work?" asked Captain Yun. "It amplifies brain waves," said Dr. Ju. "The Skinners hunt by feeling brain waves across space. This will make your thoughts so loud they can't ignore you." "So we'll be bait," said Captain Yun. Dr. Ju nodded sadly. Yes, the loudest minds on the planet. They will come for you first. And then, asked Tak, when they try to feed on your minds, activate the weapon. It will create a feedback loop in their hunting sense, like a mirror showing them their own hunger. Min hugged Captain Yun. Be careful, she said. Watch the grid while we're gone, said Tak. Keep people connected as long as you can. They took a small helicopter to the crystal site in Old Seoul. The main crystal still stood tall, pulsing with blue light. Around it, smaller crystals grew in circles. This is the heart of the grid, said Tak. The Skinners will come here when the shield fails. They didn't have to wait long. As the shield weakened, dark shapes moved across the sky toward Seoul. The Skinners had found the center of the resistance. Tak held the weapon in his hands. It was warm, vibrating slightly with the thoughts of billions of humans connected to the grid. Ready? He asked Captain Yun. She nodded, her face brave but afraid. Tak pressed a button on the weapon. It glowed brighter. Inside his mind, Tak felt a change. His thoughts became louder, stronger, like shouting in a quiet room. Captain Yun gasped. I can hear your thoughts, she said. And I can hear yours, said Tak. The weapon is connecting us directly. Above them, the sky darkened as the largest Skinner ship moved over Seoul. It was huge, bigger than the war-toad ships had been. It looked like a storm cloud made of oil. Tak took a deep breath. He opened his mind fully, letting his thoughts ring out. All his fear, his anger, his hope, all his memories of his family, of Earth before the wars. Captain Yun did the same. Their minds called out together, a feast of thoughts for the Skinners to find. The dark ship stopped directly overhead. A part of it reached down, like smoke forming a hand. It touched the ground near them. Where it touched, the earth turned cold and gray. Then the smoke surrounded them. Cold darkness pressed against their skin. Tak could feel something pulling at his mind, trying to drink his thoughts. Now, he shouted. Together, they activated the weapon. The crystal sphere glowed with intense blue light. It sent out waves that caught the Skinners' hunting sense and turned it back on them. The smoke around them shook. It pulled back, then pushed forward again. The dark ship above made no sound, but Tak could feel its pain in his mind. It's working, said Captain Yun. But the ship fought back. The darkness pressed harder. Tak felt his thoughts being pulled away. The Skinners were too strong, too hungry. Then something unexpected happened. In his mind, Tak heard new voices. Dr. Ju, Min, General Park. Then more voices. Hundreds, thousands, millions. The crystal grid was changing. Instead of hiding human minds, it was now connecting them. All the volunteers around the world were joining together. Their minds linked in a great chorus of thought. Everyone together, came Dr. Ju's voice in his mind. We're changing the grid, making it a weapon. Tak felt the power of billions of human minds flowing into the weapon he held. The blue light grew stronger. The dark ship pulled back. But it wasn't enough. The Skinners were ancient and powerful. They had eaten the minds of whole worlds. They pushed back against the human resistance. In the command center, Dr. Ju and Min watched as more Skinner ships joined the first. A dozen dark shapes surrounded Seoul. The shield had failed completely now. The Skinners could feel all human minds on Earth. We need more, said Dr. Ju. More connection. Min had an idea. The war-toad memories in Tak's mind. Can we access them through the grid? Dr. Ju's eyes widened. Yes. The memories carry the pain of all the worlds the Skinners destroyed. If we can share that with everyone. They worked quickly, using the grid to pull the alien memories from Tak's mind and share them with all connected humans. In Seoul, Tak felt the change. The alien memories flowed out of him, into the grid, and back stronger. Every human connected to the network now carried a piece of the Wartoads' warning. Their fear, their pain, their anger at the Skinners. Captain Yun grabbed Tak's hand. "I see them now. All the worlds the Skinners destroyed. Everyone sees them," said Tak. "Everyone feels what they did." The weapon pulsed with new power. The combined anger of humans and the memory of Wartoads created a wave that hit the Skinners with the pain of all their victims. The dark ships pulled back. The smoke retreated from Tak and Captain Yun. Above them, the largest ship began to break apart. In the command center, Dr. Ju watched in amazement as the Skinners retreated. Their ships moved away from Earth, back toward space. But one ship remained. The largest one still hung over Seoul, wounded but dangerous. Inside it, Tak could feel something different. Not just hunger, intelligence, anger. "This isn't over," he said to Captain Yun. "We need to finish this. We need to get inside that ship." She nodded. "How?" Tak looked at the weapon, still glowing with the thoughts of billions of humans. "We make it invite us in." Using the Wartoad memories, Tak adjusted the weapon. Instead of broadcasting their thoughts, it now sent out a single powerful thought. Fear, the fear of prey that makes predators excited, makes them careless. The dark ship reached down again. This time, when the smoke touched them, Tak and Captain Yun didn't fight it. They let it pull them up into the darkness. Inside the Skinner ship was like being in a dream of darkness. No solid walls or floors, just flowing smoke and shadows. And in the center, something like a heart, a dark core that pulled at their minds. "There," said Tak. "That's what feeds on thoughts." They moved toward it, still holding the weapon. Around them, they felt the Skinners' confusion. These humans were not running, not fighting. They were walking into the mouth of the predator. As they reached the dark core, Tak finally understood what the Skinners were. Not monsters, not evil, just hungry. They fed on fear and pain because that was their nature. Like all predators, they followed the scent of their prey across stars. "Now," said Tak. They placed the weapon against the dark core. They activated it one last time. But instead of fear or pain, they filled it with something the Skinners had never tasted before. Hope. The combined hope of billions of humans flowed through the weapon. The hope for tomorrow, for peace, for life. The dark core could not feed on hope. It tried to pull away, but the weapon held it fast. The core broke apart, releasing all the minds it had consumed across countless worlds. And as it broke, the last Skinner ship fell from the sky.